Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Thomas Edison, you are standing at the edge of your life, staring into the vast unknown. The world whispers to you. Sometimes it screams that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, that the path ahead is too steep. But what if the voice inside you, the one that refuses to be silenced, is the only one worth listening to? What if the fire in your chest, the one that burns even when the world tries to douse it, is the map to everything you're meant to become? This isn't about chasing fleeting moments of inspiration. This is about forging a mind so unbreakable, so relentless that success isn't just a destination. It's the air you breathe. Pause for a moment. Feel the weight of where you are right now. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you've been knocked down more times than you can count. Maybe the world has told you to settle, to shrink, to accept the ordinary. But ordinary is a choice, not a sentence. You weren't born to blend into the background. You weren't created to live someone else's story. Every single one of us is handed the same raw material, 24 hours in a day, a mind capable of infinite growth, and a heart that beats with purpose. The difference between those who conquer and those who merely exist lies in one thing: the way you think. Your mind is the battlefield where every victory is won or lost before you ever take a step. Think about Thomas Edison, a man who failed thousands of times before he lit up the world. The history books call him a genius, but genius wasn't what kept him going. It was his refusal to let failure define him. Each burned-out filament, each shattered prototype was a lesson, not a defeat. He didn't see 10,000 failures. He saw 10,000 steps toward the light. That's the kind of mind you need. One that doesn't flinch at setbacks. One that sees every obstacle as a teacher in disguise. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are the architects of your reality. If you think small, you live small. If you think defeat, you invite it. But if you think like a conqueror, the world has no choice but to bend to your will. But let's be real. Thinking like a conqueror isn't easy. It's not about positive affirmations or slapping a smile on your face while the world crumbles. It's about staring into the chaos of your life and choosing to believe, deep in your bones, that you are built for this. Belief isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's the moment you decide that no matter how dark the night, you will walk toward the dawn. Look at Abraham Lincoln, a man who lost elections, businesses, and loved ones, yet rose to lead a fractured nation. He wasn't born with a silver spoon or a clear path. His strength came from a belief that his purpose was bigger than his pain. When you believe in something greater than yourself, a vision, a mission, a legacy, you unlock a force that no failure can extinguish. Vision is the compass of the mind. Without it, you're just wandering. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination, yet he built an empire that redefined storytelling. He didn't just see a theme park or a cartoon mouse. He saw a world where dreams could. That's what vision does. It pulls you forward when your legs want to quit. Close your eyes for a second and imagine your life 5 years from now. Not the vague, blurry version, but the vivid one. Where are you standing? Who's with you? What's the fire in your chest telling you? That image isn't a fantasy, it's a blueprint. But a blueprint is useless unless you pick up the tools and build. Goals are those tools. They're not wishes or hopes. They're promises you make to yourself. The problem is, most people set goals like they're writing a grocery list, vague, uninspired, and forgotten by next week. A real goal is a contract, signed in sweat and sealed with action. Henry Ford didn't just want to make cars. He wanted to make them affordable for every family. That specificity, that audacity, drove him to revolutionize an industry. Your goals need to scare you a little. They need to demand more than you think you can give. Because the moment you commit to something bigger than your comfort zone, you're no longer the same person. You're a creator, a builder, a force. But here's the truth. Goals without discipline are just daydreams. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's waking up when you'd rather sleep, working when you'd rather scroll, choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Look at Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest athlete of all time. He wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the strongest, but he was the most disciplined. He didn't just practice, he obsessed. Every shot, every sprint, every moment was a step toward greatness. That's the mindset you need, one that treats every day as a chance to get better, stronger, closer. Action is the heartbeat of discipline. You can plan, you can dream, you can visualize until the stars burn out, but nothing changes until you move. Action isn't waiting for the perfect moment, it's creating it. J.K. Rowling didn't wait for inspiration to strike. She wrote Harry Potter while broke, depressed, and raising a child alone. She didn't have a fancy office or a publishing deal. She had a pen, a notebook, and a refusal to give up. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a rebellion against mediocrity. Every choice to act is a vote for the person you're becoming. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence. Start now, imperfectly, messily, bravely. And when you act, don't just move with gratitude. Gratitude isn't about being thankful for what you have. It's about recognizing the privilege of being alive, of having a chance to fight for your dreams. Think about it. You're here, breathing, with a mind that can learn, a body that can move, and a world full of possibilities. That's not nothing. That's everything. Gratitude keeps you grounded when success feels far away. It reminds you that every struggle is a story, every scar a badge. Oprah Winfrey, a woman who rose from poverty and abuse to global influence, once said that gratitude was her greatest teacher. It didn't erase her pain. It gave her the strength to keep going. But strength isn't just about pushing forward. It's about standing tall when life tries to break you. Resilience is the art of falling 7 times and standing up 8. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about walking through it. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet emerged, not with bitterness but with a vision for a united nation. His resilience wasn't just physical, it was mental. He refused to let his circumstances define his spirit. You will face storms, doubt, rejection, failure. But those storms don't get to write your story. You do. Resilience is choosing to rewrite the ending, no matter how many times the page gets torn. Adaptability is resilience's twin. The world doesn't care about your plans. It shifts, it surprises, it challenges. The ones who thrive are the ones who bend without breaking. Charles Darwin didn't just study survival, he lived it. His theory wasn't about the strongest or the fastest. It was about the most adaptable. When life throws you a curveball, don't curse it. Learn from it. Pivot, grow. The tech giants of today, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, didn't succeed because they had perfect plans. They succeeded because they adapted, iterated, evolved. Your mind must do the same. Stay curious, stay flexible, stay hungry. Learning is the fuel of that hunger. Every great mind in history was a student first. Einstein didn't unlock the universe by staying comfortable. He questioned, explored, failed, and tried again. Your education doesn't end with a diploma. It's a lifelong pursuit. Read books that challenge you. Seek mentors who push you. Surround yourself with people who make you feel a little uncomfortable, a little out of your depth. That's where growth lives. The moment you think you know enough is the moment you start losing. A mind that stops learning is a mind that stops leading. Growth is the reward for that learning. It's not a straight line or a quick fix. It's a spiral, sometimes messy, often slow, but always worth it. Every step forward, every lesson learned, every fear faced builds a version of you that the old you could only dream of. Think of Maya Angelou, who went from a traumatized child to a voice that moved millions. Her growth wasn't accidental, it was intentional. She wrote, she spoke, she lived with purpose. You have that same power. To grow is to choose yourself, over and over, even when it's hard, even when it hurts. Now, as you stand at this moment, feel the weight of what's possible. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the voices that tell you to stop. You are the sum of every choice you make from this moment forward. The world is waiting, not to judge you, but to witness you. So rise. Think like a conqueror. Act like a builder. Live like a creator. Your mind is the key, your actions the door, and your purpose the path. Step through. The life you were born to live is on the other side. The door is open, but the path beyond it isn't paved with gold. It's rough, uneven, and sometimes shrouded in fog so thick you can't see your own hands. This is where most people stop. They see the uncertainty, feel the weight of the unknown, and turn back to the familiar. But you're different. You've already decided that the life you want is worth the struggle. You've chosen to master your mind, to sculpt it like a blade, sharp and unyielding. Now the real work begins. Not the work of dreaming, but the work of becoming. This is the fire where your purpose is forged, where your thoughts turn to action, and where your resolve is tested against the storms of doubt. Picture yourself standing on a cliff, the wind howling, the ocean crashing below. The leap you're about to take isn't just physical, it's mental. It's the moment you decide to trust yourself, to bet on your own potential, even when the world bets against you. That leap is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what drove Harriet Tubman to lead hundreds to freedom through darkness and danger. She wasn't born with a map or a promise of safety. She had a vision, a fire in her soul, and a mind that refused to bow to fear. Your mind is no different. It's a weapon, a compass, a spark. But like any tool, it must be wielded with intention. Intention is the root of everything great. Without it, your actions are just noise. Intention is what turns a fleeting thought into a legacy. Consider Leonardo da Vinci, a man who didn't just paint or invent. He redefined what it meant to be human. His notebooks, filled with sketches of machines centuries ahead of their time, weren't the product of chance. They were the result of a mind driven by purpose, a mind that asked why and what if relentlessly. You need that same clarity. Why are you here? What mark do you want to leave? Not the shallow answers, the deep ones, the ones that keep you awake at night, the ones that make your heart race. That's your intention, your North Star. Let it guide every step. But intention alone isn't enough. It's the spark, not the fire. To burn bright, you need courage, the kind that doesn't wait for fear to disappear. Courage isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to move forward despite it. Look at Malala Yousafzai, a girl who faced death for the right to learn. A bullet couldn't silence her. Why? Because her courage was rooted in something bigger than herself. When you act with courage, you're not just fighting for today's goals, you're fighting for the person you'll become tomorrow. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you carve a piece of that future self into existence. That future self demands sacrifice, not the kind that leaves you empty, but the kind that makes you whole. Sacrifice is saying no to the easy path so you can say yes to the meaningful one. It's what drove Steve Jobs to obsess over every detail of a product, even when the world called him crazy. He didn't just build computers, he built a vision of what technology could be. That kind of focus meant giving up distractions, shortcuts, and the approval of others. What are you willing to give up? The late-night scrolling? The need to please everyone? The safety of staying small? Sacrifice isn't loss, it's investment. It's planting the seeds for a harvest most people will never see. And while you plant those seeds, you must nurture them with patience. The world loves instant results, but true success is a slow burn. It's the sculptor chipping away at marble, day after day, until a masterpiece emerges. Think of J.R.R. Tolkien, who spent decades crafting a world so vivid it still captures millions. He didn't rush, he didn't chase trends, he trusted the process. Your process is yours alone, and it won't always look like progress. Some days, it'll feel like stagnation, others like failure. But every moment you stay committed, you're building something the world can't take away. Commitment is the steel in your spine. It's what keeps you moving when the spark of motivation fades. Motivation is a fickle friend. It comes and goes like the tide. Commitment is the ocean itself, deep and unwavering. It's what carried Serena Williams through injuries, losses, and the weight of expectation to become a legend. She didn't win 23 Grand Slams because she felt inspired every day. She won because she showed up every single time, ready to fight. That's the mindset you need. One that doesn't rely on feelings but on promises. The promise you made to yourself when you decided to change. The promise to keep going no matter what. That promise will be tested. Life doesn't hand out dreams. Without a fight, you'll face rejection, setbacks, moments when the world feels rigged against you. But those moments aren't the end. They're the crucible. They're where your character is shaped. Look at Frederick Douglass, a man born into chains who taught himself to read, escaped slavery, and became a voice that shook the foundations of injustice. His life wasn't a straight line to triumph. It was a battle, every day, against a world that wanted him silent. Yet he spoke, he wrote, he fought. When life tests you, it's not asking if you're strong enough. It's showing you that you are. Strength grows in the quiet moments too. It's not just about the big battles, but the small choices. The decision to read one more page, to take one more step, to ask one more question. Those choices compound, like interest in a bank account. Over time, they build a life of depth and impact. Consider Marie Curie, who spent years in a cold shed studying radioactivity with no guarantee of success. Her small daily choices, her refusal to quit, led to 2 Nobel Prizes and a legacy that changed science forever. Your choices, no matter how small, are the bricks of your empire. Choose wisely. Choose often. And as you choose to see the beauty in the struggle. The struggle isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the weight that builds your strength, the friction that sharpens your edge. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the horrors of Auschwitz, found meaning in the darkest of places. He didn't just endure, he transformed suffering into wisdom. Your struggles, no matter how heavy, are shaping you into someone capable of carrying your dreams. Embrace them. Learn from them. Let them remind you that you're alive, that you're fighting, that you're still in the game. The game is yours. To play, but only if you refuse to play small. The world will try to box you in, to tell you who you are and what you can't do. Don't listen. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are the story you choose to write, the mind you choose to forge, the life you choose to build. Every thought, every action, every moment is a chance to claim that truth. So stand tall, think fiercely, act boldly. The path is yours, and the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the courage to keep walking. The path stretches before you, winding through valleys of doubt and peaks of possibility. Each step you've taken so far, each choice to think bigger, to act braver, to stand taller, has brought you here. But here is not the end. It's a threshold, a moment where the world pauses and asks, will you keep going? Will you dare to climb higher even when the air grows thin and the ground beneath you trembles? This is not a question of strength or talent. It's a question of will. Your will. The unyielding, unbreakable force within you that says, I am not done. That force is your mind, and it's time to wield it like a sword, cutting through every excuse, every fear, every shadow that dares to stand in your way. You are not walking this path alone. The echoes of those who came before you linger in the air. They were not gods or giants. They were people, just like you, who chose to believe in something greater. Think of Rosa Parks, a seamstress who sat down on a bus and with one quiet act, shifted the course of history. Her courage wasn't loud or flashy. It was a decision born in the furnace of her mind to say, enough. That decision rippled across decades, proving that a single moment of conviction can change the world. Your moments matter too. Every time you choose to rise above the ordinary, you send ripples into the future. You become a signal, a beacon, a proof that greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It's claimed by those who choose. Choice is your greatest power. The world will try to convince you that your life is shaped by chance, by circumstance, by forces beyond your control. But the truth is simpler and far more profound. You shape your life. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every dream you pursue is a brushstroke on the canvas of your existence. Michelangelo didn't carve the David by accident. He saw the statue in the marble before he ever touched the chisel. He chose to see beauty where others saw a block of stone. What do you see when you look at your life? A series of mistakes? A string of missed chances? Or do you see raw material, waiting for your hands to shape it into something magnificent? The choice is yours, and it's always been yours. But choosing greatness means choosing responsibility. Not the kind that weighs you down, but the kind that lifts you up. It's the responsibility to own your story, to take the pen and write the chapters others are too afraid to imagine. Consider Elon Musk, a man who looked at the stars and decided to build a rocket to reach them. He didn't wait for permission or guarantees. He took responsibility for his vision, even when it meant risking everything. That's what separates dreamers from builders. Builders don't just imagine, they answer the call. They say, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Your life is calling, your dreams are calling. Will you answer? Answering that call means embracing discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the soft, familiar places. It happens in the wild, where the ground is uneven and the winds are fierce. Comfort is a trap, a velvet cage that promises safety but delivers stagnation. Look at Angela Merkel, who rose from a quiet life as a scientist to lead Germany through some of its most turbulent years. She didn't seek the spotlight, but when history called, she stepped into it, navigating crises with a calm, disciplined mind. Discomfort was her ally, not her enemy. It taught her resilience, sharpened her focus, forced her to grow. The next time you feel uneasy, when you're scared to speak, to fail, to try, lean into it. That's where your edges are honed, where your potential is unlocked. Potential is a dangerous word. It's not a promise, it's a challenge. It's the raw ore buried deep within you, waiting to be mined. But potential left untouched is just a ghost, haunting you with what could have been. Mining it requires effort, relentless and unapologetic. Think of Beyoncé, a woman who didn't just rest on her talent but worked tirelessly to redefine what it means to be an artist. Every album, every performance, every moment she spends perfecting her craft is a testament to what happens when potential meets persistence. Your potential is limitless, but it's not free. It demands your sweat, your focus, your refusal to settle. Are you willing to pay the price? That price includes failure. Not the kind that defines you, but the kind that refines you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Every titan of history knew this. Winston Churchill was called a failure, a has-been, before he led Britain through its darkest hour. His speeches, which rallied a nation, were born from years of rejection and ridicule. Failure taught him grit, clarity, purpose. When you fail, and you will, don't run from it. Study it. Let it show you where you're weak, where you can grow, where you need to double down. Failure is a map, not a wall. Use it to find your way. Finding your way means trusting your instincts. The world is loud, full of voices telling you what to do, who to be, how to live. But the only voice that matters is the one inside you. It's the whisper that knows your truth, the pulse that beats with your purpose. Steve Wozniak trusted his instincts when he built the first Apple computer in a garage, ignoring the skeptics who said it was a pipe dream. That trust turned a hobby into a revolution. Your instincts are your guide, but they're only as sharp as your willingness to listen. Quiet the noise, tune out the doubters. Lean into the still, small voice that says, "This is who you are. This is what you're meant to do." Listening to that voice takes practice. It's a muscle strengthened by reflection. Reflection isn't just looking back, it's looking within. It's asking the hard questions. Am I living my truth? Am Am I chasing what matters? Am I becoming the person I was born to be? The ancient philosopher Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He wasn't wrong. Reflection is how you calibrate your compass, how you ensure your actions align with your purpose. Carve out time for it, not hours but moments. In the quiet of the morning, in the pause before sleep, ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow? What will I do differently tomorrow? Those questions are the threads that weave your life into a tapestry of meaning. Meaning is the ultimate reward. Not money, not fame, not applause, meaning. It's the fire that keeps you warm when the world grows cold. It's what drove Mother Teresa to serve the poorest of the poor, not for recognition, but because it was her calling. Meaning doesn't come from what you achieve. It comes from why you achieve it. It's the reason behind your hustle, the purpose behind your pain. When you live with meaning, every step feels like a victory, every setback like a lesson. Find your why. Hold it close. Let it be the light that guides you through the darkest nights, and there will be dark nights. Moments when you question everything, your path, your strength, your worth. Those moments are not a sign of weakness. They're a sign you're human. Even the greatest minds faced them. Maya Lin, the young architect who designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, was criticized and doubted at every turn. Yet she stood firm, trusting her vision, and created a monument that heals hearts to this day. When the darkness comes, don't fight it. Walk through it. Let it teach you empathy, resilience, grace. Let it remind you that you're not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for everyone who will be inspired by your story. Your story is still being written. Every day, every choice, every thought adds a line, a paragraph, a chapter. You are the author, the hero, the force that decides how it ends. The world doesn't get to write your ending. Your doubts don't get to write it. Only you do. So write with boldness, write with fire, write with the kind of conviction that shakes the stars. Your mind is the pen, your actions the ink, your purpose the page. Keep writing, keep fighting, keep becoming. The world is waiting to read your masterpiece.